Alright, what's going on guys, Liam here, and in today's video, Alright, what's going on guys, Liam here, and in today's video, I do not have max PvP for y'all, but I am talking about what I think are the best schools to start PvP on. Now, I get asked this quite a bit, I would say, on stream. Hey Liam, what's the best school I should play, Storm Myth Balance, whatever, yada yada. People like to ask that quite a bit, and I really feel like it could be a video that could be made here on the channel and basically just in the community in general. So I'm gonna be trying to be as objective as possible, but in a video like this, it kind of boils down to my opinion and some bias, but I'm gonna explain why I think you should play certain schools before you play others, and hopefully you guys learn something new. And again, if you guys disagree, that's cool. You can feel free to let me know in the comments below. If you agree, that's cool as well. No toxicity here in this community, man. You can just be friendly as you want or whatever. But yeah, let's get right into the video. Alright, so coming in right away, we have Fire. Now, personally, this is the one I started on. Again, if you guys don't know, if you are new to the channel, I started playing Wiz about 15 months ago. So I basically started PvP first on a Fire. And the reason I think Fire is so good right now, beside, Mander Heavy, and them getting absolutely cracked stats. My Fire's not maxed right now, by the way. It's my new Fire. I deleted him. But Fire gets like 10k health, crazy damage, crazy pierce, to the point where they do almost the same damage as a Storm, but they have 1,000 more health. And right now, Heavy isn't nerfed. That card is just broken. Objectively, it is broken. You guys can't argue with that. It does not follow the audit rules, like the new audit rules format. So, that's just is what it is. But what people don't realize is Fire is a lot more than Heavy and Mander. Fire is about preserving your pips, going for an elf combo, stuff like that. Elf Ifrit combo, you gotta be very smart. It teaches you the line of, playing kind of slow with Ifrit, but also playing aggressive with the amount of damage you can do. So I definitely would recommend starting on a Fire and then working your way up to some of the other schools in this list. And yeah, again, I just really say it's good because, again, that line between defense with Ifrit and also the overtime pressure, learning what the value does on that, and then also weakness. You have to understand as a Fire, weakness actually really does screw you over, so you have to learn that, oh, weakness is a good counter to me. I need to play around that, stuff like that. And then, like I said, not to mention, you hit pretty hard, and you do have some of the best stats in the game, along with some of the best cards in the game. But, yeah, let me know if you guys disagree or agree, and we're gonna get onto the next spot. Coming in at the number 2 spot on the list here, I think I'm gonna put Balance. So, in point 1, we covered Fire, how it draws the line between, playing really aggressive and also having Ifrit and stuff like that, where it's like hit and defense. Balance really does teach you more defensive playstyle, but you can play very aggressive on a Balance, right? You have cards like Colossus, you have cards like Mana Burn, you have cards like Gaze, Paw, hit and do something else. You have plenty of cards like that. So this school will really teach you about tempo and basically utility in PvP. Although a lot of people would agree it is the worst school in the game right now, including myself. There's a couple of reasons for that, but I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, Balance is really good. Your stats are honestly pretty solid. You can almost get 11k HP as Glass Cannon on a Balance. And then Mana Burn is also still pretty good. Mock is good. Gaze is also pretty solid as well, but it's not amazing if I'm being honest. Then yeah, you just really learn a lot about tempo and utility with this school, and that's why I would recommend it at one of the top 3s. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. Pretty self-explanatory. You just learn to control the game, you learn tempo, and you basically earn your win most of the time when you're playing a Balance. Unlike a lot of other schools in the game right now, when you actually earn a win and win on a Balance, basically, it feels very rewarding, and you feel like, wow, I played great on that game. Not like, oh, I mandered 10 times, Heavy 10 times, I bladed 50 times. It's actually rewarding to win on the school. So yeah, let's get onto the number 3 spot. coming in at the number 3 spot. Now, I honestly was kind of reluctant to put this here, but I'm going to say Myth. I want to talk about why I want to put it here and why I didn't want to put it here. Starting with why I didn't want to put it here. Myth, in my opinion, is one of the most skillful schools in the game. You have so much good cards to use in your deck. You have really good stats. You know, you're about the same health as a Fire. About the same stats, but a little bit weaker. You have a ton of good cards. Yaga is, you know, amazing. Surge, Minnow, Athena, Pigs, all that jazz. It's very, very, very good. And this school is, again, like I said, it's one of the most skillful schools, but that also makes it very hard to play. So if you can, you know, play the school very well, a lot of the other schools here left on the list should come to you as second nature, I would say. Again, you learn a lot about tempo from playing Fire and Balance. Myth, you can also learn a bit about that with cards like Athena, you know, Minnow, Hidden Bubbles, yada yada, stuff like that. It's pretty, like I said, it's pretty hard to play normal Myth. It's kind of in a weird spot right now in the meta. A lot of people just don't play it, and I don't know why. I think Myth is honestly one of the best schools in the game right now. But a lot of people just aren't in queue right now because how, you know, bad the healing problem is and the PvE strats currently in ranked right now. But yeah, I think when you see 5th Age come out, you'll see a lot of Myth players in queue. And I'm really excited for that. Now, again, I want to cover why I think it's so good. And that's simply just because you have the same stats as a Fire. You're crazy, like Glass Cannon Myth, you have like crazy offense. You can like hit and debuff with Athena, kind of like an E3 but it's lower pips, so you can combo it easier. You have cards like Pigs, you can get around shield with a Minnow. You have Yaga, which is a hit and minion. You also have cards like Saga as well. And honestly, King Art isn't even bad, and you could set up the Jin if you want, but personally, I'm not really a big fan of Gambit PvP or Rochambeau PvP right now. So I don't run it, but yeah, I definitely would put Myth in the top 3 as one of the first 3 you should learn. So again, I would say Fire, Balance, and then Myth. Now, let's get onto the rest of the list. Alrighty, so next up we are on the best school in the game right now, simply just because this card exists. Nah, not really, it's just drains are just really good right now. And that's what I want to bring up on this point right now. Death, you get cracked stats, you get almost 11k health, you know, you get pretty offensive stats as well. You have Grim Reader, which is, you know, up to par as the best shad in the game right now. I feel like a lot of people can't really deny that. It might not be the best, but it is definitely, in my opinion, one of the top 3 best shads in the game right now. And maybe KI should look at that, but who knows. But on Death, you have a lot of stuff to learn, right? You have, you know, is it better to go for a Wraith, or is it better to go for a Mash? You're going to see this question come up a lot in Death PvP, and most of the time, it's going to be almost always better to Wraith, unless you have nothing to drain. Like, let's say you're at the start of the game, you have a weakness, they haven't hit you at all, you could just take a Mash, and it's not that bad, right? But I think this school does have a certain skill curve to it. Again, like I said, you have to know what's better to go for, you know, a Mash or a Drain, or is it better to go for a Crow or a Wraith, you know? Is it better to Grim into a Mash, or is it better to Grim into a Wraith? Stuff like that. Is it better to Poison or go for a Dragon? And, I mean, I think this school does have some kind of mastery to it. Even though right now it's kind of watered down and it's very, very easy to play. And, you know, it is the best in the game right now, unfortunately. But, yeah, I would say there is some mastery and some strategy to be found here. And also, just understanding drains and how much they're going to do is really going to help you. Not just as a death main yourself, but it'll also help you in other matchups. Like, for example, I know my death, a bubbled crit wraith does 2.1 against a glass cannon player, right? If I'm playing a death who has word, not as good stats as I do, it maybe does 2k tops, high 1900, right? So just knowing those numbers, you know, in the back of your head and stuff like that will really, really help you out playing the school in general. And then, like the other stuff I've listed, there's just tons of stuff. What's the better combo to go for and stuff like that. But, yeah, let's get on to the next point, guys. Alright, so next up on the list, I'm going to put Ice here. Now, the reason, I mean, originally I was going to put Storm here, actually, but Ice does counter Storm pretty easily, actually. You know, if a Storm plays well, and Ice can just always A-bomb and stuff like that, and it's pretty easy for an Ice to be a Storm. So, I'm putting Ice here, basically, is the point, and the reason I'm doing that is, you know, Ice right now, a lot of people say it's one of the worst schools, and I agree to an extent, but at the same time, it's honestly not that bad. You get pretty good stats. You get almost 12k health as Glass Cannon. You get almost like 59 resist universal as well with it. So it's pretty cracked. You still have cards like A-Bomb. You know, you got Winter Moon. You got main deck Frostbite, which I personally think is very slept on. And honestly, Ice I feel like is a little bit underrated, but compared to how easy the other schools are to play right now, I think Ice just gets outclassed a little bit. I'm not saying Ice is, you know, not easy to play. Oftentimes, you just Frostbite into an A-Bomb or Shadowhorn, vice versa, right? But the other schools just have it way easier than Ice right now. I'm not really saying it needs to be buffed a lot, because I feel like they need to be careful with that. But Ice is a very forgiving school to play, I should say that. And, you know, a lot of the time, you just want to, again, Frostbite into an A-Bomb. But sometimes it's pretty nice to go for a Shadowhorn play as well. But yeah, I'm going to put it here simply just because it naturally counters Storm, and it's easier to play and way more forgiving than the next two schools I am putting here on the list. But yeah, let's get on to the next point, guys. Again, I wanted to put Storm here. I think you guys will know where the Storm is off a process of elimination, but I think I have to put Life here, and that is just simply because of the fact how broken healing is right now in the game. People can literally heal for as much as they want in a PvP match, which is absolutely bonkers. Like, objectively speaking, just that alone is absolutely insane in any game. One school that can literally do whatever they want, heal for as much as they want, is absolutely insane. And, you know, I'm gonna kind of say something here, and if it hurts your feelings, I guess I'm sorry. But healing is kind of a noob-friendly thing, right? If you play bad, you resort to healing, and that's kind of that, unfortunately. Healing per pip is being looked at. It is being nerfed, so that's pretty cool, I guess. Myself and a lot of other people think that heals should be penalized on the timer as well. So for example, on my balance, on my life, I played a balance who healed 9 times for a total of 10,000 extra health than I have, right? That is absolutely just borderline insane, right? That's insane. And I've had matches where I've done 33,100 total damage, and they healed for 23,700 total health. That is 3 times my starting health as like any wizard but Storm, really. That's over 3 times if you're thinking Storm, right? That's absolutely insane. But that's enough of the rant. I'm gonna put Life here because I do think it is a very difficult school to play, especially if you're someone like me who just wants to play the game and doesn't want to resort to healing and stuff like that. It's really tough. It's really tough. But at the same time, you have cards like Lumi, which makes it very easy on a Life. If Life didn't have Lumi, I feel like it would suck, if I'm being honest. If I'm being very honest with you. So I'm glad they have something, I guess. But I do think Life, honestly, is one of the top schools in the game right now. I think it is one of the hardest schools to play in terms of Glass Cannon. But if you're jading and healing like 6 times with 70 resist and the Sinister Robe and the Mally Hat, it doesn't really require a lot of skill to play. So yeah, I don't know, I wouldn't recommend it to start out with, because you'll be kind of caught between, well, should I be healing more or should I be doing damage more? And if you go down the healing route, you're actually not going to improve yourself as a player. So that factor will just really keep you back, as opposed to the other schools will actually help you understand the game and like excel you forward, basically. So I hope that, you know, makes sense to you guys. I imagine some people got butthurt by me talking about healing here, but I'm sorry, guys. It's a fact. Like, if you look at any other competitive game, healing is always penalized. It's, you know, the easier thing to do, and sometimes easy isn't always good. But yeah, let's get on to the last spot and my personal favorite school in the game. So coming in at the last spot, I know some of you guys are gonna be surprised. A lot of you guys here on the channel think Storm, is my best school and stuff like that. And I agree. I love Storm to the bottom of my heart. This is my favorite school in the game, guys. So this just goes to show really how unbiased I am as a content creator. So if you aren't already subscribed or liked the video, do it, man. It's free, and I'd appreciate it. Your boy keeps it 100 here on the channel. But yeah, let's talk about Storm real quick. I personally think Storm is one of the most skillful schools in the game. Obviously, aside from the bug, the Blade Sack bug, I think Myth and Storm are probably the most, and Balance, I guess, right now, probably the top 3 most skillful schools in the game at the moment. The reason I say that is because as a Storm, right, you basically have 1,000 less health than a Fire, but Fire does almost the same damage, and they have Ifrit, which is a better card, right? So automatically you get outclassed by, another school, which is actually bad. I don't know why I brought that up as if it was a positive thing, but anyways, back on topic. The reason I put it here, and I think it's one of the best skillful schools, is because if you mess up on a Storm, 80% of the time you're going to lose. Even one slip up, one deck fail, you're going to be behind so much. Now, you do get some decent stats like 41 Pierce, 135 damage, stuff like that. Not too shabby, right? Not too shabby. Good crit block, etc. But your cards honestly really aren't that amazing. Stormwing's good, Hidden Bubble's good, Rasulka's good, Catch is decent, King Art is pretty good, I guess. But you don't have really a spammable card like Life does or anything like that, or just really a card that's broken like Heffy or Mander to spam. So Storm really boils down to how good you are at the actual game, and that's why I wouldn't recommend it to start out with. Basically, it just has a very high skill ceiling, and a lot of players don't really meet that. That being said, I do think you could start out, one of your first 2 characters could be a Storm to PvP on. I think my second or third character I PvP'd on actually was my Storm. And, I struggled with him for a bit. I have a lot of matches played right now because I'm a content creator. But I got my Warlord around my 150th match, I would say. I think it was like, I don't know. I think it was like 90 and 60 or something like that, around there. I win to loss. So, it takes some time to get used to. It takes some time to learn how to play it. But I do think you need to master and understand all the other parts of the game before you can hop on a Storm and actually play it well to its full value, basically. So, yeah, I hope that made a lot of sense, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Like I said, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really, really appreciate it. Let's try and hit 2K subs for 2023. I know we can do it. We got a pretty awesome community here, and I'd really, really appreciate it. But yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one, and as always, take care, guys.